holding back this information from all these people. And I go in these conferences and I see these young people from the press that are sitting in there, and they're young and they're eager and they're aspiring, and I'm just thinking, but what kind of future are these young people going to have? And they did, to prevent the panic, they did their best. And it was brought up from Greenpeace, as well as someone in the conference the night before last, about the playgrounds in the schools, that all these little kids have been going to school and playing in these playgrounds, and now they're being evacuated out of those zones after they've been poisoned. And they're most of them will succumb to leukemias and cancers and things. They won't even have a life. They probably won't even make it into their teens. Like, it's so disgusting and so sad to be seeing this. And I mean, this has been going on for 33 days now, and I've been totally in this medical role and evaluation and discussions, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to consider the people and what they are going through, and what some of our own people in our countries will go through because of this. So many innocent people, so many. And I watched a video the other night, and it if you get a chance, if I can find the link for it, I'll post the link. But it was when the tsunami happened, and it's probably under maybe a UFO category or something like that. And this man who had done the footage on that part of the tsunami, it had showed these little white orbs that were rising out of the tsunami and floating. And I tell you, when I saw that video, I looked at it and it convinced me that it was the spirit of some of those people. And it convinced me that I know that we all have a spirit, and we're just here in this dimension, but there's another dimension that we'll go on to, and that we are energy, and energy doesn't die, it just changes form. And when I saw that video, my thought was, you know what? Maybe those people got the easy way out. Yeah, they died. And I mean, I've dealt with a lot of death in my practice. And it's not a pretty sight. And especially for those who have to suffer and have to linger. But you know what? Maybe those people, they got the easy way out. Those people are okay now, and they're at peace. And it's those of us who are left here now with this mess that have to suffer and have to go through things. But as I was watching that video, I had other thoughts too, because we're in the wake-up room and we talk about many topics. And I know that most of you now have seen how all the topics that we're talking about and have talked about for a very long time have all come together now. We're witnessing the events taking place now that we talked about would happen for so long. We're in that moment now, and there's more to come. And it's like there's a thread, and that thread joins it all together, like when you're weaving a tapestry. and it all goes together. But when I was watching that video, the other things that I felt too was Japan is like another Atlantis. And there's a lot of things that we don't know about Atlantis. And there's a few things that we do know. And there's more things now being revealed and will be revealed. The Mayans have been very, very quiet about their revelations for 500 years now, and have now been given permission to start revealing their prophecies and their revelations. But it's not just them who are saying it. It's many, many other groups from around the world who have been saying the same things. And it's all coming together now. But I feel like Japan, and I can't even totally explain some of this, I feel like Japan, for some reason, is a very, very strategic point in this world. And there's more going on there than what we are seeing at the moment. And I'm talking if we could see with spiritual eyes, or if we could see into another dimension. Japan is a very, very strategic point for some reason. It's like it's a portal, or it's a core of energy that I can't even explain it at this point. I don't have the whole picture. But yes, Addie, cancer is a long and slow, painful death, and I've witnessed a lot of cancer in a lot of people. But I've also had cancer experiences myself that I did overcome and recover from. So cancer is not always a death sentence. But anyways, if I can find the link for that video, I'll post it for you. It just, in spite of the destruction that's in that video, when you see those little orbs rising and floating away, those people are okay. And it triggered so many thoughts and so many feelings within myself. And of course it made me realize that, for several days now, I haven't had time and I haven't had a chance to really sit down and look at this on a different level. I've been just so much looking at documentation and everything on such a physical level that I haven't been able to get another perspective. But the other thing I gathered out of that moment too was that we obviously know that the situation of the world and the situation of Japan is beyond being fixed or helped or changed by any man. We know that. That's a given. It's very, very clear that no man can fix what has happened and what is coming. But there is going to be, I believe, an intervention. I don't know in what way it may come, and there are other events that have to take place. And yes, the Bible has prophecies in it. I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran, I've read Hindu scriptures. I've read many, many, many scriptures of many faiths and many religions, many philosophies. But they all seem to have one thing in common, that there is going to be an intervention. The Bible says Jesus is coming back. The Quran says Jesus is coming back. Each faith and each religion does say someone or something is coming back. Some people believe it's the ETs. That's another interesting thing, is that there's been so many sightings whenever there's a major event that happens in our world, like earthquakes, volcanoes, etc. There seems to be a much higher sighting in those particular areas of UFOs. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about that too. It's actually quite interesting. So we are not alone here, and heaven forbid that I should be so, I'm not even sure what the word is to say, that this planet Earth in this whole big universe is the only place of life and the only thing of existence. I don't think I want to be as naive as to think that or to believe it. But man sure has become our own worst enemy. We are our own enemy. It's terrible. Well, if those ETs are out there watching, I'm telling you, I wonder how many of them have cried. Because you know what? Every day when I wake up, this is my journal entry. I say journal entry day 5 or journal entry 1 month or whatever. And my journal entry every day for 33 days now is, today I cried for Japan and for the world, and I prayed. So with that, I'll leave the mic. I'll go see if I can find that YouTube video, and then I'll post a link in the room for you, and maybe that video will bring some peace. Thanks for letting me share. Thanks so much for listening. I always appreciate being able to come back into the Wake Up Project.